Let's talk about the clear cooperation policy that NAR put into place back in 2019. I'm sure you're familiar with all these lawsuits that we're hearing about involving the NAR, commissions that realtors charge, and what exactly does all this mean? Daryl Davis, he has been in real estate for over 30 years. He is a real estate coach, and he is also the author of How to Become a Power Agent in Real Estate. He's definitely someone that I follow and keep up with, and he wrote an opinion piece basically stating that the NAR is going to have to eliminate the clear cooperation policy in order to squash these lawsuits and get rid of the ones that seem to keep popping up. There was a trial out in, I think it was Minnesota, a couple of months ago where they came in with the verdict, and it was going to be billions of dollars that NAR was going to have to reimburse sellers in that particular state. And the reason for it is because of the clear cooperation policy, which states that residential listings must be submitted to a broker's multiple listing service within 1 business day of an agent publicly marketing these properties to buyers. The policy was introduced not only to promote more equitable access to listings across the country, but also to provide greater transparency for homebuyers in their search process. They believe that broadening the exposure of listings to all fellow members would more effectively serve homeowners, ensuring that their properties received widespread attention. If you're like me, I'm like, well, yeah, that sounds pretty good, because that way your seller is going to get the most exposure for their home. More buyers that see their home, the better their chance of selling it at top dollar. But what the clear cooperation policy did was effectively say, you're not allowed to have a pocket listing. Traditionally, what we call a pocket listing is where you've got someone who says, yeah, I'm open to selling, I just don't want to be on the open market. So you would have a pocket listing, and you could share it within your office, let people know. And then if you had buyers who were interested, you could show that house to them. So when NAR put the clear cooperation policy, they effectively said, you're not advertising any home that you don't have listed in the MLS. There's no coming soon policies, because people were putting a coming soon sign up and then showing the house and selling it before it ever went on the market. So in NAR's mind, they were doing their seller a disjustice. But the sellers seemed to think that because the NAR mandated this policy that their home had to be listed in the MLS, that it ended up costing them more money because they were having to pay buyer's agents at that point if another agent brought the buyer for the deal. So that's where all these lawsuits are stemming from. And prior to the clear cooperation policy, it was very, very rare that you heard about a lawsuit involving the commission. Now we're seeing them pop up everywhere. I think there's one in 15 states now, different lawsuits that are being filed against local MLSs, state MLSs, and the NAR. So what's going to happen? Well, I think what we're going to end up seeing is a reversal to the way things were before we had buyer agents. And that's not going to be good, because most buyers right now cannot afford a down payment on a house. How are they going to be able to afford the commission for an agent? And that's something we're going to have to look at. We're going to have to get the lender world involved in that as well and see what they can come up with. Are commissions going to be considered a part of the closing cost? Is commission going to be something that a buyer can finance into their loan when they do go to purchase a home? Prior to people having buyer's agents, everyone went through the list agent. Well, the list agent's getting paid by the seller, so guess whose interest he's looking out for? The sellers. So in that case, if everybody's going through the list agent, buyers are going to be unrepresented. And I don't think that's a world that we really want to get back to. But unfortunately, with all these lawsuits, that may be exactly where we're headed. So let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think that buyers should have to pay their own real estate agent, or do you think that expense should be covered by the seller?